Alrighty. Today we have, let's go ahead and get the meeting kicked off. This is the Agent Gateway Community Meeting for Wednesday, July 15th of 2026. The meeting's being recorded, so if you don't want to be recorded, here's your opportunity to exit the meeting. The meeting is also governed by Linux Foundation Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to being kind and respectful to one another. I think everyone's always done that in these meetings and really across the project. So we appreciate everyone's support in that. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the agenda for today, which is pretty light, as I mentioned. If anyone has any topics they'd like to add, feel free to do so. Otherwise, this is probably going to be a pretty quick meeting. And so we like to start the meetings off with welcoming any new members to the project, or this is the first time that you've been contributing to the project, but this is the first time that you've joined the meeting. I'll pause for a second if you'd like to come off mute and tell us, who you are and why you're interested in the project or why you've been contributing to the project.
I can come off mute. Hi, my name is Camille Clayton. I'm over at Ticketmaster currently. I've been working with Tyler Martin and some others from the solo folks on Glue Gateway over the past 3 years, and I started using Agent Gateway about 4 or 5 months ago. Have recently had some work and success around experiments with agent sandbox integrations, and in talking with Tyler and Lin Sun, they said I should try and start seeing if I can come to these calls and see if we could maybe make some collaborations.
Oh, awesome. That's great that you were able to join today. So, and it's Camille, correct? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Awesome, Camille. Well, yeah, thank you for joining. And no, it sounds like some interesting work that you're doing with the sandbox integration. Is there I see it as a topic. We could kind of jump to that if you'd like to. Let's let me pause for a second and see if there's any other new members or new contributors that would like you to get a chance to introduce themselves first. Okay, sounds great. And feel free to use the chat features of the Google Meeting if you'd prefer just introducing yourself over chat as well. You can do that, or the Discord channel too is always nice. And I guess one other point for the meeting too is we like to just track the attendees. So if you are in the meeting, please add yourself to the attendee list. Helps us in the future if we need to circle back with anyone on follow-ups or anything like that we know who is in attendance. But otherwise, we can get into the topics other than welcoming new contributors. I added a topic here, just a meeting cadence. I know last week the agenda was pretty light. This week's agenda is pretty light, and if others have some context here on the cadence of the meeting, does it make sense to continue doing weekly cadence? Should we go to bi-weekly? So I just want to kind of get other people's thoughts on the cadence.
The cadence is weekly meetings, and then there is a monthly release, right?
Correct. And really, I want to be able to just kind of like focus this topic on the meeting cadence. Like, does it make sense to do weekly meetings, or does it make sense to do bi-weekly meetings? I want to make sure that the meetings are a good use of everyone's time. sometimes it is nice just to be able to come in and have open discussion. And so, if everyone else feels like it's important to have that weekly time block, even if, there's nothing in the agenda, or do we establish, a precedence of, okay, if by the day of the meeting or an hour before the meeting, if there is no agenda topics, then we cancel the meeting. It's kind of like a meeting management type of discussion, making sure, at the core, that the cadence is what, the community is looking for. Hey, Nina, I don't mean to single you out, as well as Marcus. I know you guys have been involved in the community meetings for quite some time. You have any thoughts on continuing the existing cadence, and or any context that you could share?
Yeah, I think maybe canceling if there's nothing on the agenda before makes sense. Like some weeks, I think we have a very full agenda. Some weeks we don't, so it's really hard to predict. Like I think switching to biweekly might make sense, but I think maybe for now we can try and see like how many times we have to cancel and then go from there.
Okay. Sorry, Nina, I know I'm asking you a question here. Where is the best place for us to normally broadcast if we are canceling that? Would that be
the Discord? Yeah, the Discord has like an automatic a reminder that gets sent out. So we can broadcast it there and then cancel on the calendar too.
So it sounds like we might want to just be a bit more organized with planning the next topics ahead of time, and then play by ear the next few weeks.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to take it upon myself to add a reminder 24 hours before the community meeting, and for others that that would like to join the meeting in the future, maybe just adding a personal reminder 24 hours before the meeting of just saying, hey, is there any topics that I want to add to the agenda? Because to Nina's point, I think here we'll give it a few more weeks, but if we start seeing a pattern of going into the community meeting with no topics, then I think, in my opinion, the next step would be is that we do come to an agreement to say if there are no topics, then we cancel the meeting. We send out that announcement on Discord an hour before the meeting, so everyone's aware of it. We update the community documentation, or the project documentation, just so everyone is aware of. Right, currently we provide the meeting information, but just to update there, as well as a point of record that if we go into the meetings and there's no agenda topics, that we then cancel the meeting.
I'm curious if folks would be interested if the agenda is light. Sometimes reviewing like the roadmap for the next release or what's on target for next release. I think I would find that helpful as someone kind of newer to the community, and maybe any call for help on certain issues. I think that would be super helpful. I know that's more work on you or others who are leading, but I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah, as someone trying to contribute to the project, but I sometimes find it hard to figure out how to contribute or what to contribute. I have, gone through the examples, found things that need changing, but yeah, some guidance would actually be really helpful.
Yeah, I know we had discussed updating labels or reviewing or reassigning labels to issues that would be good first issues or something. I think we talked about that. Maybe that would be helpful as well. I'm not sure if that needs to happen in the call, but yeah, that's something that we could review in the meeting.
No, Jackie, I think you bring up some great points. So thank you for sharing that. And as you see, I took an action item. Let me get rid of this for next meeting. That we add, that I'll go ahead and add a topic and kind of lead that discussion around, roadmap and issue triage, because not necessarily like on a weekly basis, but definitely establishing a cadence where we could use this time for just general project kind of maintenance tasks. And it's maybe something that we add in the agenda as kind of like a final item where people could stay on the meeting and take part in that, or if they're not interested, then they could jump off of that. Or okay, let me think through that a little bit more, and then I'll take that. Like I said, I have that as an action item here. So for next meeting, we already have an agenda topic that I'll take ownership of. So yeah, great points. And yeah, definitely please help me out if I didn't catch everything here in the action items or as notes. Feel free to add to that here to make sure we captured those points correctly. All right. Any other kind of subtopics for this meeting cadence discussion? If not, we'll move on.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So like while working on the benchmark, I was going through recent commits and saw PR 2473 merged last week, which introduced gateways as a replacement for binds in standalone configuration. But I also noticed in the review commit, John mentioned that both gateways and binds compile down to the same internal bind struct. So they are basically equivalent under the hood right now. And so my question is binds going to be deprecated or removed at some point, or will it stay supported like alongside gateways? The reason I ask is the LLMD router Helm chart generate agent gateway configuration using binds. And I want to know if the benchmark setup needs to be updated to use gateways for long-term compatibility or if it is fine as is.
Yeah, John's not on the call today, so unless anyone else is familiar with this PR of his, so it looks like this does target standalone.
So I have no, I don't really know this PR at all, but is it in the proto, the representation, or is it a different layer? I guess where is, so you're saying the it's a gateway representation rather than binds?
Yeah, it introduced like gateways as a replacement for binds in standalone configuration.
Interesting.
Let me
Do you have the link to the PR?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have it up. Oop, oh, I'm sorry. It's
Paste it in the chat box.
2473. I'm looking at it now. I need to share this tab. That's yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a really big change. So yeah, unless someone else is familiar with this, I think we need to circle back with John. So
Okay.
Abba, is this a blocker for you right now?
No, not blocker right now.
Okay. Yeah, Keith is a reviewer, and he's unfortunately not on the call either. So why don't we, if you need an answer before next week's meeting, please use Discord, and you could ping
Okay.
ping John. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and add it as an action item to add to next week's agenda.
So we should definitely discuss this when John is online. I think this is partly, not necessarily the full driving reason, but this is partly to simplify it in standalone mode, so you don't have to expose a whole bunch of ports to run the kind of various like the UI, and it can all be kind of unified under one single port. But yeah, we should definitely kind of push ask John on this at the next meeting, because I'm sure there's a bigger, grander plan in terms of where this is heading. I don't think this has got anything to do though with the Kubernetes side of things. So
Okay.
All right. So I did track that. I'll add it to the next meeting agenda item. And again, feel free to ping John on Discord. Next topic, Camille, circling back with you. So you lightly touched on what you're working on as it relates to the sandbox integration. Is there anything more you'd like to share during the meeting?
Yeah, my sort of one of my current long-term projects is figuring out ways to do long-running agentic sessions within Kubernetes sandboxes for both code development as well as secure hosting of agents. We have about 1,300 developers worldwide, and then another 10,000 or about 10,000 folks of lesser technical capabilities, all trying. So there's lots of push to help enable, but also not open up everything to the world. I've been doing that through an MCP currently, which then is backed by Agent Gateway. And then the MCP is doing all the communication to Agent Sandbox. I also have some other work streams going on where it could be useful for like bimodal authentication streams where like XDoc might be useful, specifically around like the Agent Gateway UI. There's no authentication out of the box, and you can't use the same authentication method you would use for an MCP. So I'm actually having to route things back to have the glue routes just for the UI to provide XDoc to it. So I think there are some things that I could work on if any of that is interested to help up-level security and streamlining of experiments that other people might want to do around the Kate SIG Agent Sandbox project. But if it's not interesting and not in y'all's roadmap, like I've gotten workarounds, I've gotten systems, but I think it could be really useful to the broader community and world.
No, I mean, it sounds very interesting. So for the capabilities you described that are lacking or you have workarounds for, are there any issues that are related to that, or do we need to open up new issues?
I haven't driven through. Let me see if there's anything around XOF. So that would probably be like the first and simplest one. Not necessarily simple, because the Envoy style XOF would need to be mapped and ported. There is one, Howard John, opened on the 28th. Doesn't quite match, but something I can dive into. There's the chat.
I'm looking for the same thing. Google Meet always throws me off of where it is. Chat. Eventually one day I'll find it. Let's see, where are we at here? There it is. See the issue you posted.
I have a question, just I guess taking it a step back. Could you talk through some of the user stories for the integration, just so I can better understand the common workflows that you're targeting?
Yeah, so like if we're looking at it like from a Cucumber BDD style, as a user, I would like to leverage Agent Gateway's inference routing with long-running agents that are deployed to the Kate SIG agent sandbox framework.
Okay.
The stories around it is you would need a way to tie in user authentication, which can be funneled either through the MCP style auth or an XDOF process. Have a way for Agent Gateway to know different agent sandbox pools that are available, configurations on how to route to those pools of compute.
Yeah, so it's Agent Gateway functioning as like an ingress router for the auth for
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And so I have an MCP basically kludging all of that, and I can sort of map out all those features. But this is something I'd be happy to work through either on GitHub issues or email or Discord.
Yeah, I'm no Agent Gateway or Agent Sandbox expert, but I'd be interested if you need help or anything at all. I'd be interested in talking more about those use cases.
Yeah, that was sort of where I got with Tyler and Lynn. They were like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting, but bring it to the council." We have sort of like a big audacious goal of trying to figure out how to do 30-day long sessions inside, and I've successfully gotten over 24 hours. 28 hours for a prompt. My main thing is hitting complexity. I think it can actually go longer than that. I just haven't been able to give it a prompt longer than 6 hours. I can get whole epics of work done right now, but I can't do all of the auditing and security functions I don't want yet. It's not quite ready for more than a handful of users.
Super interesting.
Yeah, Camille, so if these issues that we have in the chat window don't align, then do me a favor and create a new issue And then if you could circle back around into this agenda doc and link to it. So, so we've got the history there, and we'll dive into it deeper and continue the discussion on the issue.
Yes, I really appreciate it, and thank y'all for letting me have some of the time.
Absolutely, it's a very interesting use case. So appreciate you sharing that, and like I said, we'll continue the discussion on the issue, and maybe even circle back around next week if you're able to join and continue the discussion there as well. Alrighty, let's see, a meeting to share. I think with that said, we had no other topics to discuss, so if that's the case, I'll assign myself for the meeting for next week, and put together the agenda for next week and include some of the points we discussed about being able to discuss maybe the roadmap and triage some issues, do some maintenance of the project to keep that rolling forward as well. Excellent. Well, thanks everyone. We'll catch you online. Bye now.